Hi and welcome to this new vlog. If you watch any other of my vlogs, you know that I'm struggling to keep them short and nice and they're ending up always too long, so I will try to be better. I am Audrey, if you don't know me, and I read way too many fantasy books, and recently I started to get more and more into the indie published, self-published book rabbit hole, and I have quite a few that I would like to read, so I thought, you know what, why not vlog about them? So let's get started. All those indie self-published books, I have to admit, they're on my Kindle. I got them as ebook because, well, it's more convenient, and also I'm trying to buy a bit less book because I still have like a lot of my physical TBR. But I have to admit, in July I read a lot of my physical books and I miss my Kindle because it's just so practical to read with it. So I thought that would be a nice theme, to go through all my self-published indie books I have, to try them out and share my thoughts, and hopefully, well, get help those authors to get more readers, even though myself I have a very small channel. But you have to start somewhere, as they do. So why does it say I read 99% of that arc that I did not read 99% of? Oh, that's because I went to the end of it. Yes. I have quite a few. I'm looking at my Kindle here. I still did not receive my protection, so it doesn't go shiny and all like this. I have to check on that. So anyway, I have several that came out, and I have an arc, and actually I wanted to start with that arc read because so far I just read like the blurb and it seemed very intriguing, and then I read the author's note and I already started laughing, and then I went to have a look at the pronunciation guide, and I ended up on the glossary, and again I laughed twice. So let me just start by sharing the glossary that made me laugh. There is like a weird sentence, you just don't know what it means, and it says human phrase meaning there is a chicken in my pants, and it just got me laughing so bad. Like, why, in which context a human would ever say such a phrase? I have no clue. So I don't know, is it in a spicy scene context? I'm not sure because I think there is not much spice, but I might be wrong. Just why, when, who? I need to know. And then there is another like 3 small words that I will not even try to pronounce again because I don't know how you pronounce that. And she put in brackets, nice try, I'm not going to tell you. So I'm hooked. I'm hooked. It's just, I'm all in. How did I discover that book? And did I say what the book was about? Or what was it? I don't know. No, I didn't share anything. So wait, let me back up. So again, I have to put you a picture of the cover because for some reason when I download eArc from NetGalley, it doesn't let me show the cover. So it's called Forge in Fading by Madeline Haiston. I found that book because, I think it was the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep, so I went to NetGalley, see, hey, is there any nice book that I could give a try and that I would be interested? And I saw this book, which is a Nordic inspired fantasy, so already you got me. Yes, I'm just trying to go on NetGalley to remember what did I like about the book and why I requested it. And yes, when opening it, I just saw a book that I'm interested in. So wait, I will find you what I saw. I'm still not great at knowing how this works, and I have a hard time. Where is that book? Here. Thank you. No, I just want a book. I don't want to give my feedback yet. I'm about to read it. Yes. So this book is a Nordic inspired fantasy, so that's a check. I think the FMC is 30, but I'm not sure. I cannot find the information anymore, so I will keep you updated as soon as I start reading it. Apparently there is a lot of humor and sarcasm. I'm following the author on Instagram, and she shared a lot of like funny quotes and stuff, so I don't know, I have a good feeling about it. I think I will just love it. It comes out on 28th of August. Yes, publication date is 28th of August. I think that would be another favorite of mine, but maybe I'm wrong. But I have high hope. So anyway, what is it talking about? Well, I will not let you know yet. I know I read the blurb. I don't want to read it again. I think I will just finish my current read and dive in this one and just let you know how it is going. And after that, I don't know what I will be in the mood to read. Oh, there is Daughter of the Night by Gemma. I forgot her last name, but it came out early in July. And also there were those days that you could have like free ebooks from Amazon, and I just downloaded a few. So maybe I will go there. Or also I discovered again through NetGalley, and it will be my downfall, but a great author, which is Natalie Summers, with murder, mystery, cozy, magical books. And I read one in my previous vlog in July, and she has a whole other series which is finished. So maybe I will dive into this one. I don't know. I don't know where I will go. I will go finish my book, or actually I will go edit the July vlog, go finish my book, and then start Forge in Fading and keep you updated. We are Saturday, and I hope you can forgive how I look. I didn't want to make myself like looking anyway good. I went to the lake this morning, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on Forge in Fading that I started yesterday because I'm just flying through it. So I thought if I wait Monday to give you an update, I will probably have just finished the book or be like very close to finishing the book. So I thought I will make myself a little tea and I will update you on what this is about, because I didn't tell you much. And how is it, and how am I flying through it right now? So yesterday I so easily read 22% of the book, so like almost 100 pages, more or less. Apparently it's 440 pages. And I'm just so happy I stumbled on it on NetGalley and I discovered this author and that she kindly approved for the ARC. I would have ordered it anyway, even if I didn't receive the ARC, obviously. But it's so good. So you are following Alvara, and she is 32. And she's an elf. And she's an elf who has like white, not grey, white hair. And she lives in a place where the winter are very harsh. I mean, it is Nordic inspired. So the winter are very harsh, and her magic is ice, which I love so much. It's never like you have water, you have fire a lot, shadows and light, but ice, you never have ice magic. So that's really fun. You have a lot of elves, and you have different kind of elves. So I'm still fuzzy on their names and what do they have different between them. Beside MMC, who has white tattoo because apparently he has a tan skin. It helps that I've went to see her Instagram page and there is like beautiful drawings of the characters. So anyway, we follow Alvara, and she lost her sister and her mother several years ago. She's also a blacksmith. She does weapon, and she just now has herself and her father, who is also having a very hard time, and he spent all his days in a chair reading books, and she's having a hard time feeding him, and she just check up on him daily. And herself, the way she's coping with the loss of her sister and her mother is by just having a very routine, boring life. Like she just go to work, take care of her father, and that's pretty much it. And she likes it that way. And also, even though she's an elf and she's supposed to have magic, excuse me, if you have an Australian Shepherd or any breed of dogs that has very long hair, you know that they are just everywhere. So there is a hair in my tea. So anyway, that's how she copes, and she's very content with her life. And also, even though she's an elf, that's what I was saying, she's an elf, but she doesn't like to use her magic. She doesn't have very good control of her magic, and she knows that her sister was very good with it, but her is just like, yeah, I don't want it, I don't want to use it. I'm a blacksmith. I know how to fight with a weapon. I don't want to use my magic anyway. I don't need it. I'm just living my daily life. And one day she has her boss who tells her that, oh, I have a delivery to that other kingdom. Yes, to that other kingdom. Please go there and take a few days to rest and relax there. Just change your mind, go on an adventure, change your routine, and please bring, I forgot, Piri? I don't know how you pronounce his name, which is her old, I don't know if he's her old boyfriend or very good friend. I don't know if it was clearly specified, but they used to be very close, and then she lost her family, and then they just like kind of stayed apart. She goes to that other realm with him. He's not a very talkative person, and once they get there, they turns out that the delivery is at the palace of the king, and things just go south. And somehow she's kidnapped by the king because she of her name and who she is, and she's just like, what are you doing? I was just trying to deliver that weapon, and that's all. Let me just go home. I don't want to be here anyway. I just want to go home to my life and everything. And oh yeah, because before she arrived, there were some elf that were misleading some humans. So also that didn't go well because there is a big fight between the humans and the elves because the humans killed family of the king. So of course he doesn't like them. So he was not happy that, she defended one human. Things start from there. I don't want to spoil too many things, so I won't give you much more information. Beside that, somehow, of course, she gets out. Somehow she meets Boden, our MMC, and somehow she is now with the movement who is trying to fight against the king. I think I have to tell you this actually, because if not, then, well, I cannot tell you anything about the story. So somehow she ends up with that bunch of people who are fighting against him and who are trying to help humans and half-breeds. I will not give you details on how everything went down because, well, you have to just to discover it for yourself and go read the book, which is so good. Overall, I have so many things I want to share. The pacing of the book is very good. Like, it moves pretty fast. I feel like things just keep going, and at the same time you also are settling a bit and getting a bit to know the characters and the story and everything. So it's the kind of pacing I like. It just moves along, but you still get to know the world building and the characters, which is very nice. The MMC, if you've watched by any chance my other vlog, if you haven't, please go check it out. I have been saying that I'm getting so tired of the grumpy MMCs, who are just not talking and are just supposed to be mysterious and are just rude and always unhappy. So here it's so refreshing to have a MMC who is talkative, is funny, and he already dealt with all his trauma. He doesn't need to open up to her to suddenly deal with all his trauma that made him grumpy. So that's a very nice change of pace. And actually, she's the one who is more closed off and who needs to deal with everything. Like, as I said, she found her coping mechanism. She decided to not use magic, but of course, she's bring to, she has now to get control of her magic and learn how to use it, which is always fun. I always like the trope where they need to handle their magic, but maybe that's just me, I don't know. So yeah, that's very refreshing, and the book is so far, there is heavy subject as every fantasy book, but it's funny. It's really funny. The characters are funny. I like the mix of all, you have few grumpy characters, and at the same time you have those just happy souls who are just joking and are the life, like have full of life, and it's just refreshing. I feel like in often fantasy maybe they're a bit more darker and more like grumpy, so here's really nice. I like the conversation, I like the dialogue. They're a bit, I wouldn't say modern, like they're just like kind of normal dialogue with sarcasm, but I don't know, they are not the fanciest dialogue like you would have. I don't know, what can I think of? It's not like Rebecca Ross dialogue, but it's good dialogue. For me, it's fine. I like it. I enjoy it. The writing is so smooth. As I said, I'm doing this update because I will probably fly through it. It's so easy to read, and it's so addictive, and it's also like at the same time it's very descriptive. Like I see the world in my head, I see the characters, well, I see the character arts also, but see the characters, and the story is really moving along. The pacing is good so far. I have no complaint at all. Like it's just a very smooth ride, and as I said, refreshing, and the story is just so easy. There is a whole also kingdoms, like there is several kingdoms. They have 5 seasons instead of 4, so you have a little graph at the beginning. It's like their spring is split in two, like the spring where they start flowering, and then the spring in flower, and then the summer. They have special names. I won't even try to say what are the names. Yeah, you have a map that I need to go back a bit more to when I'm reading the book, but it's just on my Kindle. It's never as convenient. So, but that's just a me problem. So you have a map, you have the seasons, you have humans, you have half humans, half elf, you have many kind of elves. You have a funny, open, like very real MMC. Like, you know, he's just real. Sometimes he gets angry and stuff, of course, but he's very real, and she's very real in a way that when you are 32 and you just cope however you can, and now she hopefully will find herself better or find a better way to cope than the one she's been using. I think they will have a fun family that will be nice also. That's all I have to say so far. That's pretty much all there reads. I'm having a great time. As I said, I read 22% yesterday. I already read a tiny bit today when going to the lake. And now I just wanted to give the update because I think the rest of my day will be just resting and reading. And it seems it's so easy to read. I will just fly through the whole thing. So I don't think it will take me a long time to finish, especially I don't have many things planned next few days, so I think I will finish it pretty easy. And I'm still thinking, what do I want to read next, because I really would like to make that vlog with only self-published books. I have few options. I don't know which one I want to take. Maybe I will go to some... I will see how this one goes, how dark it is, or if it gets very dark, because so far it's not that dark, even though bad things happen. So maybe I will go then into something a bit darker, and then maybe I will either try another Natalie Summers book, which is a cozy mystery and cozy fantasy all mixed in one, or she actually sent in her newsletter that I received. I don't know when I received it, but I opened it today, and she suggested other cozy mystery, cozy fantasies from other authors, which are also self-published, and one seems really intrigued me, so maybe I will just go dive to this one afterwards, or like in 2 books. I don't know. I will see. I will try to keep that vlog nice and short, and I will update you probably on Monday. We're Tuesday, and I just finished Forge in Fading. I cannot remember the title of that book, which is highly annoying. Yes, Forge in Fading by Madeline Haiston. I'm still processing. Well, Tuesday, by the way, I had to switch a bit my schedule around, which went fine because I didn't manage to finish the book yesterday, and I just finished it this morning. I'm still processing my thoughts. I still don't know what I want to share. I put my hair up, and I hate filming myself with my hair up. I have a losing battle with the heat. I think I'm too close. I zoom too much in my camera. Anyway, my thoughts are all over the place. I was planning to finish the book this morning and then film some content and update you, and that book... I'm processing. I don't even know what to tell you. 5 stars. Let's start with this. 5 stars. That's for sure. The slow burn. Drove me nuts. Everybody loves enemies to lover, but you know what? The slow burn of enemies to lover is nothing compared to the slow burn of friends to lovers. Because the enemies to lovers, first of all, I feel like they're never truly enemies. If they were truly enemies, then they would directly unalive each other the first time they saw each other, instead of thinking, oh wait, I have some reason that holds me back, and for some reason I will not unalive the other one. No, if they really hated each other, they would unalive each other, and they wouldn't be the lovers part. And yes, I still do love a good enemies to lovers, but the slow burn is not the same, because it's like often, not all the time, but often they will start the, I don't want to say romance, the spice or the first kiss or whatever, still saying, oh, but I hate him or I hate her, but they're so attractive and I cannot help myself, but I still hate the person. The burn is not burning the way friends to lover burns, the way those two here. You know, when you have those two friends who just keep circling each other, but nobody takes a move, and you just want to yell at them, just do it already, just get together, you're basically together. That's kind of what that book's romance was, first of all. So yeah, that's the part that got me. Was it my favorite part? I think yes, they were my favorite parts. Even, of course, it's still fantasy, so you have a lot of war, you have some politics and all stuff. I will come to that, hopefully. But and at the end, she just, what she did at the end, just, she took all my breath away. I still didn't recover. It just, that was a lot. It was so good. It was so good. What I loved about this book is you don't have a chosen one trope. She's our FMC, Alvara. Alvara? Yes. She's not the chosen one, okay? She's just going through all that grief, somehow end up in that group who is trying to do a rebellion? Yes, I guess so. Who is just trying to help the elf and demi-elf to survive the king who hates them and wants them to just be unalive, and he wants all the powers. So she's not chosen, she's just end up with that group of people and meeting that fun family and going through her grief and her issues and meeting all those people and trying to find a way to fight. And it's just like a group of people trying to fight and get back their kingdom, basically. So that was also kind of refreshing. She's not a hidden, like, you know, so you have the chosen one or the hidden royalty or something like this. And here you don't have it. Maybe later, I don't know. But it's just refreshing to have just a normal girl who is just trying to survive and deal with everything. I relate so much to Alvara in a way that she's the full introvert. Like, she doesn't like people. She likes to be on her own. And she doesn't like small talk. She will talk if it brings value. She will surround herself with people if she needs to, but when it's too much, she will put herself out. She will talk, but with only people that she values or that there is things to exchange. She will just not be friends with everybody. And that I clearly relate to. And also, she closes herself off from everyone, from her emotion, and just convince herself, and maybe she does, but just convince herself that she doesn't care about anyone. She just cares about herself, and she just want to be left alone and go on with her life. And I definitely can relate to that. I definitely can assure that it's work to open up yourself to people. And sometimes I also want to go back down and be like, it was a mistake. I should go back to closing myself off. So I definitely can relate to that. I have to drink some of my tea. So anyway, I definitely relate to that. And she was a very likable character to me. Her decision and everything that she's done to me makes sense. It might not make sense to everyone, I feel, because I'm doing also Spark of the Everflame reread, and I know DM is getting a lot of hate, which I never understood why. Actually, I will come back to that after. But anyway, to me, she's definitely relatable. And her MMC, Boden, but he's so... You know what? A happy, fun, talkative, sharing MMC who knows who he is but still going through his stuff, but he's just open and full of life, even though you wonder how he can be full. It's so refreshing. He was so great. He's the great. I think he's my new favorite MMC, and a fantasy that still have, politics and fight, rebellion, and all those subjects of fantasy. And yet, I spent so much of that book smiling and laughing. Also, spent some of it tear up and gasping and being, oh my god, what's going on? I don't like to say the sentence, oh my god, by the way, but I was just, what's going on? Extra bonus point for all the jokes and lighthearted and smile it bring on my face. And it was sarcasm, definitely, but also just general joke and happiness. And it was, of course, we had grumpy people, but we had also happy people. And how can they be happy with everything happening? I don't know, they're so resilient, and it's almost beyond me, even though I use sarcasm and humor as coping mechanism, as many of us will do. But it was just so good. It was so good. And the world was really interesting, and you were at the same time traveling and discovering new people and new beings, but at the same time you were settling and getting like kind of a normal life, even though you were in the middle of, well, not normal life. And it was just so good. I loved every single moment of it. And the end, besides that it had me gasping and yelling and being shocked beyond repair, also with a nice twist I did not see at all coming, and made me feel like, wait, I need to reread the stuff because I don't remember all the details, and now they seem way more important than the way we were reading it. So I highly recommend. I don't know what to tell you more. I just still processing everything, but it was so good. I loved it so much. I definitely will look out for book 2, book 3, and anything else. And I will definitely look out to order myself a physical copy because I need this book. It will be one of my comfort read. It will definitely be one read that I can easily go back and know that I will have a great time and that I will love the characters and everything. So it's just like one of my favorite reads of the year. I had so many good reads this year, even last year, but this year I think I'm getting more and more to know which book I like. And also I'm discovering more and more self-published indie author. I mean, that's her debut novel. How is that possible? And I need to make videos about all my favorite books, but I feel like it will take hours. But I will try to make that at some point. At least some reels or short or something. If I cannot go through all of them in just 3 minutes. Anyway, I will find a way. Did I say we're Tuesday? Yes, I will try to tell you just a bit of page count because I do like to give a page count to just give you an idea of how much I read, whether I'm busy or tired or I have plenty of time for reading. So I started this book on Friday and I read an average of 97 pages. As I said, I don't have the pages numbers, so it's estimate based on the percentage I read. Then on Saturday I read 97 pages, the same than Friday, oddly. And then Sunday I read 114 pages. Monday I again read 97 pages, which is really odd. And actually I was very close to the end, but I knew I had to get up early and I knew that I would never be able to sleep after. I didn't know what was the ending would be like, but I knew that whatever it would be, I would never be able to sleep. So I've been reasonable because I'm trying to prioritize my rest and sleeping. And so I finished this morning with 35 pages, which took me much longer to finish because my dog kept interrupting me. So anyway, that's the countdown. This book was so good. I need to film all of that, and this afternoon I need to post all the reviews. I wanted to also make some reels and stuff, but I don't know if my mind can do that. So anyway, I wanted to say, if you've seen any of my vlog, or if you haven't, well, and that you enjoyed this one, please go check it out. I always have a normal, like, ebook physical read and audiobook. Here, I'm not talking about the audiobook because, as I said, I'm doing a reread of Spark of the Everflame to get ready for Burn in September 8th coming out. So I don't want to share because if maybe you haven't read Spark of the Everflame yet and I don't want to spoil you, the only thing I will say is my hatred toward Henry is bigger than before. I think that's not big of a spoiler because I personally didn't like him pretty early on. And also the hatred against DM make even less sense to me now, even though I do agree that sometimes you just want to say, like, come on, it's obvious, why it's taking you so long? But at the same time, well, again, denial as coping mechanism works wonder. Actually, that's one of the sentences said by Alvara in the book, in the Fortune's Fading book. So anyway, that's why I'm not updating you on my audiobook reads in this vlog. Then for the next one, as I said, I wanted to go with Daughter of the Night by Gemma. I forgot always her last name. But right now, I don't know if it's wise, because I really want to be in the right headspace to get into. I know the book is slow, I know that it's immersive and very descriptive and dark, and I don't know if my brain is on the right space for that. But I do have some options. I know that C.N. Crawford, who wrote Avalon Tower, just published not long ago. I just discovered recently, but it was a few months ago, I think, published a new book that is set in the same world, but you don't have to read the Avalanche Tower trilogy first. And I loved the audiobook of the Avalanche Tower trilogy, and it is also self-published, so it would keep in the theme of that vlog. But I feel like she's also a bit more known, and I would maybe want to push a bit less known authors, even though I'm not known myself. But I don't know. So there is one option which I'm very tempted. Then I'm very tempted to try the other series from Natalie Summers, because I loved her cozy mystery / cozy fantasy. And there is also another author that she suggested, as I said, that could be also a good option. But then there is also another book that was self-published recently and is written by a man. Really, I haven't read any book written by a man in quite a while. But it's also dark and gothic, I think, so it might also not be the wisest of the choices. So I don't know yet what will be my next read. I'm just happy that I finished the book in the morning, so now I can go film some content, some video, then I can go on a bit with my day, have time to recover from that book, and then I will decide what I read. I will probably read a bit of samples, like maybe first chapters, and see what clicks. And I will come back to you. I don't think today, because I'll probably start the new book at the end of the day, but I will come back to you as soon as I can and tell you which book did I choose. So that's all for now. So we are Friday. I hope you can forgive the way I look. It's the end of the day, and I felt like if I'm not doing an update now when I'm halfway of that new book, I will just end up giving you an update at the very end. So let me do a quick midway review, because I didn't even tell you which book did I pick up. Am I still thinking a lot about Forged in Fading? I love that book and I cannot recall the name of that book. Yes, it's still very much on my mind, and actually I realized there were some thoughts I wanted to share with you and that I forgot. And now, well, I don't know anymore, so I hope they will come back and I will share my additional thoughts after finish that book, when I will do probably the final update. Yeah, it was really hard to move on and start another book, and I tried a bit first few pages of few books, and I ended up picking up Veiled Court by C.N. Crawford, which is actually a couple, and it's set in the same world than the Avalon Tower trilogy. And it's set actually after the Avalon Tower trilogy. So I did listen to all the audiobooks, which were full cast of that trilogy, which were pretty entertaining and very well done. I have to say that I liked the first book, but it was not, like, it was fun, but it was alright. And I really got hooked from the second and for the third book. So in case you tried the first one, you were like, meh, and especially the romance, you were not a big fan, I would say keep going, it gets better. And then if by the book 2 doesn't talk to you, then really give it up. Now I'm reading Veiled Court. You follow a girl from which I cannot remember the name, and she's a demi-fae and lives in London, and now she's trying to go back to Brocéliande, which is the Fae kingdom, because in London the humans are very mad at the Fae and they are attacking them all the time. And she also have her sister who is very sick, and she's hoping to help her find a treatment going back to the Fey land. The book started very strongly, like it started with her getting cheated on by her boyfriend with who she was supposed to go back there and live with, and then she escort her sister to go to the portal to go back to that place, but first she needs to meet someone from Avalon Tower, which is like the spy entity. It's like, I got this info from Avalon Tower. They have in the UK the MI5, MI6 and all that. So here it's a special Fey MI, I don't remember the name, I think MI13 or something. So basically Avalon Tower is that spy academy, spy place. And she need to meet one of her friends there. But on the way, well, there is a bit of trouble and she meets a woman that she tries to help and then they get into a fight. Well, one thing led to another, and now instead of going back to the Fey kingdom with her sister, she has to impersonate a high court Fey woman into something called the Veil Court, where they have organized a very fun, deadly, terrifying trial to find the new kingdom because they are not happy with the current government of Brocilande. So that's basically our plot so far. The book is extremely easy to read. According to the author, you don't need to read Avalon Tower first, but I would say that it does spoil how Avalon Tower finishes. But on the other hand, you can easily get in and you don't need the information from Avalon Tower to know how everything is going on and to understand how the magic works, how the world works and all that. You have the information pretty nicely laid down and detailed for you. I mean, detailed. It was originally not detailed in the trilogy. It's not much more detailed here, but I mean, like, you don't need to have read it to understand what's going on in this book. That I agree. But I am not sure that if you're interested, you shouldn't read Avalon Tower first. I will give you more thoughts on that on my final update once I finish the book. I would say that, as I said, it's very easy to read. Tuesday, I thought I read so much, but actually I was so distracted all the time and I couldn't get the other book out of my head. So I think I read only 60 pages, and by only, I mean I thought I read at least 100. And then Wednesday, I thought that, I didn't read much today, and then I ended up having read 200 pages. So that's how easy it is to read, and that's how much my brain have no knowledge about how much I'm reading. Then I wanted to give you an update actually yesterday. And I really thought, because I hit the 50% mark, that I would be finishing the book either yesterday or latest today. But then, unfortunately, life happened and I didn't manage to read as much as I wanted. I didn't manage to film as much as I wanted. So yesterday I ended up reading, I think, 20 pages, barely. And today we are at the end of the day and I haven't read yet. So I wanted just to make that quick update of what I'm reading. That is very entertaining. Is it my favorite book of all time? No. So far, Forge in Fading take the lead. Don't know if it's my favorite book of all time, but it's up there so far. But this one is still very fun, very entertaining, easy to follow, easy to read. You don't have, like, it's entertaining. You have politics and magic, but you don't need to have your brain on to understand everything going on. So yeah, that's a very easy read, and that's why I thought that if I don't update you now, I will just sit today and tomorrow and finish it. And I think that's all I have to say for now. As I said, I have probably some more thoughts about whether I should read Avalon Tower first, but I will finish it because I just got some information that made me lean toward, yeah, but you should still read Avalon Tower first if you're interested in that world and that series. The other thing is Avalon Tower was written actually by Crawford and Alex, I forgot the name. I will put it somewhere. So it was actually 3 people, and that Alex person, I think so. Wait. Anyway, that third person is not working on that book anymore. And while Avalon Tower has been, in the meantime, traditionally published, or actually it's currently being traditionally published, the Veil Court is currently self-published, so that works into my vlog of reading indie books. I think that's pretty much it. I wanted to add a third book after that, but I have to be realistic with editing those videos and with the time I have to film, and also with the time I have to read, because the next book I wanted to pick up will be, I think, pretty easy to read. I wanted to try the Natalie Summer new book, but I think I need to be realistic with my schedule and my time. So I think we will finish on the Veil of Court. I will probably do an update once I finish the book and wrap up that vlog, and then I will see. And worst case, if I don't vlog Natalie Summer's book, you have the other vlog with her newest release, and it will be part of my August wrap up if I read it this month. And if not, I guess we'll see. There is many books I want to read this month, and I feel like I don't have enough time. I feel like I'm already behind when we're just the beginning of August. That's all for the first update. I will go eat, I will go read, and I'll see you as soon as I can update you. So it's time to give you the final update on this reading vlog. I will start with the countdown and then give you my final thought of this last book, and then we'll just close up the reading vlog because my reading pace is too slow to keep on updating you, and I'm having a hard time finding time to film and update you as much as I want. So at least, well, you got those two books and it was two good reads, so I hope that you enjoyed. Even though that's not the end of the video yet, I need to tell you how Veiled Court went. So first of all, I'm not sure when was my last reading count pages. So on Friday I read 31 pages, and then on the Saturday I read 115 pages, and on Sunday I finished the book reading 72 pages. So my thought on Veiled Court, do I have much to update you? I feel like, I don't know, I was such in a rush when I did the last update, I don't remember everything I said. But it was a nice, fun read. It was what I was expecting. I mean, I read Avalon Tower, and the audiobook definitely made it, like, I don't know, the audiobook grabbed me more than the reading. But also, as I said, Avalon Tower first book was like a fine, good, nice, entertaining read, and I really got gripped in the second and third book. Here, it was like Avalon Tower. It was a nice, fun, entertaining book. It was really easy to read and to fly through and understand all the information that you were given. That's why I really thought that I would be finishing it Friday, and then just, well, life got in the way and I didn't have as much time as I was expecting to be reading. So that's why it took me 3 more days. As I said 1,000 times, it's easy to read. It's easy to wrap your head around what is going on and what is happening. The romance, it was kind of a love triangle, even though on what she advertised, she doesn't advertise at all love triangle. She's pretty clear about who is the love interest. And yet, I felt like we didn't have much of the love interest here, so the romance side, I didn't really feel the connection. For the court and trial, it was fun. I like all the spying elements, the sneaking around, and how all the time she was just trying to do something nice, easy, undetected, and well, always complication were arriving. And all the information she started to uncover, and how is the purpose of the trial, and also the backstory of the kingdom, how they used to do things, and discovering all this, all the court life and all the connection, and how they feel about being the high society of the Fae community, because I feel like they hate mortals, definitely, but I feel like they also don't like Fays that have, like, below their grades. So that was really fun. There was one character that, I don't know, I found him, in French you would say attachant, like, you just feel like, oh, what are you doing here? You shouldn't even be here. I just wish for you to go home and be safe, and you have also little friendship developing, which is very nice. You have her childhood friend, with who she has all those interaction. 1 second. Laisse, descends, panier. Sure. Sorry, my dog needed to eat a fly. C'est bon? C'est bon, if you've seen any of my older videos, I was sitting on the ground in my old place. And one thing that I realized I miss when editing videos is not see anymore my dog because now he's sitting too below. You cannot see him in the angle. Anyway, he caught his fly and I went back to sleep. What was I saying? Yes, the beginning of the book, it starts very strong. Like you arrive and the first thing she does, like you see her, is her going to see her boyfriend and he has another girlfriend and then she tried to run away with her sister and something happened on the way. It's like, oh damn, what do I do now? Because things are happening. And so it's not very strong. I mean, the action is here, the pacing is fast, it's easy. I did went to have a little check, and I think that the books they write, apparently, I think they wrote many series, but I'm not sure. I would need to check. But apparently, they tend to do like the first book is always like it's good, but it's good, but it's not great. And then it's really picking up in the other books. I already pre-ordered the second book, which is coming out in. Wait, I need to check this info. My list of anticipated release just keep growing and growing and growing. It's a never-ending story. I will never get out of it. So the second book will be called Gilded Games and it's coming out on June 4th next year. So I already pre-ordered the ebook and I really want to see where everything else is going. I think this, I don't know, for Avalon Tower and this book, they're the perfect book if I were like in a reading slump, which I kind of feel I was leaning toward to after loving Forge in Fading so much. I love that book so much and I cannot recall the name of the book. It's driving me nuts. But I loved it so much that I feel like I was close to a reading slump and it would be hard to pick up another book. So this was perfect for that. On the subject of, no, one thing after the other. Do you need to read Avalon Tower before you read Velcourt? To understand what's going on in Velcourt, you don't need to, but I do stand by my previous statement that you do get all the info about how everything ended in the first trilogy. If you're interested in that universe, I would say start with the trilogy and then go to Velcourt to not spoil yourself of what will happen. Except if sometimes you do want to know the end, because I mean, sometimes I do like or don't mind to see the end and be just, okay, but how do they get there? So if you want to know what happened and read thinking, how is everything evolving that we get into what information we get in Velcourt, then feel free to spoil yourself and read Velcourt first. One thing that I appreciate and why I do think you should read Avalon Tower first is because you do meet several characters that were in Avalon Towers. So of course they explain you who they are, but it's just nice, to have the backstory. And I feel like in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, that's what I was missing because I read Caraval trilogy first, beside the main love interest of Once Upon a Broken Heart and two of the other characters that you see at the very beginning. I was very disappointed that then throughout all the other series, you didn't really see any of the people that you met in Caraval universe, not even at the end. That kind of was disappointing. I do feel like Once Upon a Broken Heart, the universe and how things are working, you are missing out without reading Caraval. That not that much, you can get what's going on, but I do feel like it's easier to comprehend with reading Caraval first. And I'm using those two interconnected series because, well, first, most of the people have read or heard about them, so I know it will speak to you. And because also that's the first thing that comes to my mind. I don't know, I don't have any other interconnected series that I read through and through that I feel like I can give you comparison to. But here you do see people from Avalon Tower and some people you are happy to see, some people you are... Well, I mean, I was happy to see how things went, and you also do hear about some plots related to Avalon Tower people. So that's why I think it's better to read it first. Yeah, I think that's all the thought I had on Veil Court. And I did say I wanted to give you more information on Forge in Fading, because when I gave you my final update, it was 1 or 2 hours after reading it and I was still processing all of it. So one thing I really, really enjoyed about Forge in Fading, that the timeline, it's over several weeks and even several months. And I like when timelines are longer because I feel like it builds up more the relationship and it makes it more believable than it's when it's just two characters knowing each other for 1 week and being like, you're the love of my life or something. Even though at the end of all this, they are still not saying that they're the love of each other's life, definitely. But it just makes it stronger and more believable. So that was one point. And another one that I just thought about it now, and now it escaped my mind again. Well, I cannot remember what else I wanted to share that I think I forgot to say in my other video. So that will be it. That information will be forever lost, or maybe I will slip it into another video. Maybe it will come back when I do my wrap up at the end of the month. I don't know. So anyway, that's all I had to say. Normally Forge in Fading is coming out on August 28th, and it will be the day of publishing this video, actually, because that's my timeline. So you will be able to grab it. Veil Court is already been out for I think few weeks or even months, and I just missed the information for some reason. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog about reading indie authors with FMCs that are above 30. I wish I could have had another little book in there, but I need to be realistic with my timeline and my time and reading pace. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't hesitate to subscribe and check out other videos. And I think that's all I have to say. Are you interested in those books? Would you want to read them? Have you read them? Please let me know, and I wish you a great day.